What's up, everybody? It's May again, and I am here because it's a new month, and I am here with another vibe session check-in. Today is July 6th, so we've already had a few movements, motionings going on for the month of July. Tomorrow is the 7/7. Oh, it's a spider. There we go, people. July seems to be a month about weaving our own webs. Just already. I have a spider and a fly. Okay. But yes, July 2025. Don't know if I said it, but if it's your first time seeing me, my name's May. I don't really normally introduce myself. I've been wanting to work on that. So, also have been wanting to. What is that? It's just my bird. But I've also just been wanting to incorporate other aspects into my videos, so I'm back with the selenite and the sage. Alright. So just sit back, relax, and we're going to chit chat a bit about July 2025. I did my homework on July, so I have a few notes to share, I suppose. Before we get into it, I don't want to take forever to do that either, so I want to hop right into it. 1 second. Alright, and now just for a little bit of sage, just to better cleanse the vibe. The wind. But yes. I already did this for myself beforehand, but nothing wrong with a little bit of extra. But alright, let's get into the energies. I do not have a sound element with me today, so we just going. Let's get into it. Alright, so let's get with the transits of July 2025, because that's what I have in my notes. So, right off the bat, Moon, July 1st, Moon trine Venus. If you keep up with my community posts, I shared a video that I already did for May about the 5/5 portal and May 2025, and it was all about Venus and the journey through the valley of the shadow of death. So, Venus. The moon was trine Venus, July 1. July 4th, we had Venus conjunct Uranus. So, shocking elements to love and money departments on individual as well as collective scale. Then also we had Moon trine Jupiter on 7/4, Venus entered Gemini on July 4, and Neptune stationed retrograde in Aries on July 4. Then today, July 6, Venus is sextile Saturn as well as sextile Neptune. Sextile is an aspect that means that the signs are within 60 degrees of each other, and they are normally in the same polarity, whether masculine or feminine. So Venus sextile Saturn. So yes, it's in the masculine polarity because Saturn is in Aries and Venus is in Gemini. And Venus And Neptune is also in Aries, and Venus is in Gemini. So what that means as far as the energy goes, effort is needed, but it's easy to see that the effort is worth it. As opposed to like a square or an opposite, like it's damn near impossible. Like why, it's just like you don't see why you're doing it. Because you're like, because when it's a square, it's in the same modality. So they're in the same, like they're both a cardinal or fixed or mutable sign when it's square. And they could also, and then that means they're in different polarities. All right, and then on 7/7, we have the Sirius gateway. Uranus enters Gemini, and Venus will be trine Pluto. This is on 7/7. Venus trine Pluto again. I'm just going to pinpoint Venus since Venusian responsibilities is the theme. Venus trine Pluto. Trine is a very easygoing aspect. It is when energies are in the same element. So Venus is in an air sign and Pluto's in an air sign. Then on 7/10, we have the full moon in Capricorn. Then on a 7/11, the moon will be conjunct Pluto. On 7/12, Saturn stations retrograde in Aries. 7/16, the moon will be conjunct Saturn. 7/17, Mercury retrograde begins. And then 7/18, Mercury will be sextile Venus. I'm not 1,000% on the sign, I'm sorry. But if Venus is in Gemini and it's sextile, maybe it'll be, Mercury will be in, I'm not gonna lie, I don't know. Then 7/21, the moon will be conjunct Venus. 7/22, Leo season begins. 7/23, Venus will be square Mars. So, yes. 7/23, Venus square Mars. Venus in Gemini square Mars in Virgo. So again, tense action between, a tense energy between Venus and Mars. Masculine and feminine. But in this case on 7/23, Venus is in the masculine polarity and Mars is in the feminine polarity based on their signs. But Venus in Gemini and Mars in Virgo both carry a mercurial vibration. So 7/23, the second day of Leo season. And then 7/24, the new moon in Leo. 7/25, moon conjunct Mercury. And then on 7/30, Venus enters Cancer. Cool. So yes, as you can see, there's a lot of Venus action going on. And I think and the fact that it's in Gemini will show how quick the vibes will be moving. So I'll probably share a post on some tips on how to deal with that, but as of now, I mean, I wouldn't say we have any really tough energies for the rest of Cancer season. So that's cool. But let's get into some card work and see what comes out. What am I sensing about July? The dog days of summer have started. So definitely hot tamale. And definitely, you know, again, I've shared a post and it's just like, things are heating up because Venus is doing her damn thing out here in the Milky Way. And do we blame her? No. So yeah. How do we beat the heat? Can't beat it, join it. Raise it up. Alright, these are just the bottom cards. And so far we have life source on the bottom. When life comes to a standstill, turn inward and focus on joy and excitement. Your inner light keeps everything alive and moving. And then we have Aquarius. Pluto's in Aquarius. This is a really neat chalice, vase, vessel, whatever you want to call it. This is a really neat depiction. And then here's Uranus. Venus was just conjunct Uranus. Wow, conjunction, alliance. Been a lot of speak of that. And then we have Elder. These are the bottom cards. I just like to share them. I consider them to be the underlying energy. Okay, Elder. The Elder tree is associated with Jupiter and Pluto. Jupiter's in Cancer right now. Pluto's in Aquarius. So Cancer's a water sign and Aquarius is the water bearer. So it's number 28 and the keyword is wisdom. And then one last deculum. We have earth grounding. You see the big cat. All right. Your inner light keeps everything alive and moving. And then we have collaborate and alliance, wisdom and grounding, calm the mind, connect to body, mindfulness, nature. And then we have a cheetah. I've just recently read up on the cheetah, and cheetahs are associated with precision. Not just speed, but also precision. But all right, let's get into it. We're at 12 minutes. All right, what is the theme of July 2025 for the collective, the Perlinwood Listener Viewer Collective? What are we gonna go through? What is the vibes set out for us? July 2025. Christmas in July. Make room. The theme. Create space to welcome positive change into your life. Let go of everything that doesn't align with the future you are creating. Alrighty. What are some ways to create space? Well, first, just simplify it to what are the aspects of life. So, mental, physical, emotional, spiritual, and then, financial. I would say, the simple way is to break it down in, I guess, the 4 aspects. But if you wanted to get more thorough, you could follow the housing system to really hone in on what's important to the well-being of a whole human, fully functional human, and not just in the earthly aspects. All right, July 2025. What do we need to know? What is the theme? Neptune vision. What does this look like? When you throw a rock or something into the water and then that's just the splash? That's kind of what I'm getting. Casting stones and reading the ripples. Make room for your vision. So we are making room for our vision. That's great, because what is the vision? A better just a better future, a better world. As it's been called, New Earth. We have to make room in our hearts, in our minds, in our bodies, in our homes, in our communities for the new. The vibes are too high for the old. And we cannot cling. We cannot cling to the dead. We have to let them transform. July 2025. What do we need to know? What is the theme? Oh, snap. These popped on out. Let's see. All right. They are both earth. They're both fire energy cards. We have expression and courage. It takes a lot of courage to express the self in a way that is not the old way. This is the simplest way I can put it. Expression. You see her? She's roaring. She's letting it out. Speak on the vision. That also makes space for it because, one lit up candle can light so many other candles. And then we have find voice, bottled up emotions, communicate. So yes, communicate your vision. Let's communicate our vision of a new and better place for humans to live. Like, gosh. Look at her wings. So I don't know if any of y'all are connected to the Fae. I love them. They don't play though. They do not play. So please, if you don't know nothing about them, please be careful. But if you do, maybe it's a good time to leave them some trinkets and some goodies. But with courage, it's a number 6. Inner strength, action, trust self, types of bravery. Okay. And just quite honestly, if you're watching this and listening to this, you already have your vision, and you probably have had, this has probably been a whole journey for you, just like journey through the valley of the shadow of death. So we are currently journeying through a very dark time for humans because so much exposure is going on, so much change is brewing, and people are having hard times grasping it. And this has been ongoing. I feel like the first physical glimpse we got of this was the pandemic and how many lives were affected as well as lost. And the pandemic was 5 years ago. That's so crazy to say. All right, so what do we need to know about July 2025? The theme. I like to use on my phone. I only have 4 decks as of now. I like to use them. What is the theme? July 2025. Leadership, lion's mane. You see? That roar. But what are you roaring for? Who are you roaring for? Because we still have this balance in the middle, the scales, the Libra scales. Again, I spoke on Libran energy in the video that I posted about the Venusian responsibilities video. I'll probably leave a link to the video in the description. Lion's mane, leadership. Do not be, and it's associated with Mercury and Uranus, and we've already gotten some details on Mercury. It's a very mercurial time. Lots of thoughts being exchanged, a lot of ideas being exchanged, just a lot of exchange going on in general. That's what Mercury is associated with. Commerce and flow of communications. All right. We're at 19 minutes. How are y'all doing so far? The theme. So the theme, collectively, the Pearl and Wood Collective, if you're reading, watching, listening, viewing, leading, becoming a leader, letting our light lead the way. And for those of us that have traversed through so many times, it's not the easiest thing to speak so fervently about something that nobody else can see. Nobody else, they can't see it. So they're like, what are you even talking about? What are you going on about? How much backlash and all these other things that you face. But you gotta keep going. All right, let's find out how this is directly affecting us. How are the energies of July 2025 directly affecting us? I can imagine it's making a leader out of us. That Cancer to Leo transition. We're getting down to the why. Like, what are Cancer is associating with nurture and nourishing and mother-like traits. So we're in the phase of what is it that we are nourishing moving forward? How is the energies of July 2025 directly affecting us? Fourth house, ruled by Cancer. And just like I was saying, if you want to know how to fully nourish the full human self, you can look to the housing system. Okay, so please look at your fourth house. It is ruled by Cancer, but we all have a very specific birth chart. It's number 42, and the keyword is home. They say home is where the heart is. I also have an Instagram. I've made a post on this also. The heart has to be light as a feather. Okay. Make room. So this can be literal, like make room in your house. Okay? Like your actual physical home. Okay? Or if you need a home, like what does home mean for you? We are all undergoing what home means to us and where our heart alliances lie and where our heart collaborations lie. This is number 42. So stable connections between polarities. I could read from the book, the guidebook. Fourth house, home. If your chart were a village map, the fourth house would be your home base. Our early home life impacts our sense of sanctuary and how we bring things to conclusion. That's a neat way to put it. Action. Come home and make it a sanctuary. Create a place to renew and to live an intimate, authentic life. Home is an emotional space more than a physical address, but both matter. In the practical realm, it may be time to renovate, reorganize, or move in the physical realm, or to negotiate boundaries with a roommate. Create a home that feels safe and renewing at the end of the day, where you are truly off stage so you can drop your guard and refill your wells. The fourth house also speaks of existential homesickness, of a longing for a home you've never had. If you don't have a map from childhood to create sanctuary, make one. Be ready to do the next layer of therapy or tend to some work around family karma. Think about how you would like to have been parented rather than how you were parented, and use that as a model for self-care. In the spiritual realm, build or visualize a meditation place, a portable sanctuary that can be home to your spiritual practice. Explore the quiet depths of your meditation. Drop down to your hara. To your center of gravity and renew your connection to the earth beneath, the sky above, and spirit within. If you're asking about a project, check that it is well situated. Make sure the people involved feel safe and have a healthy work-life balance. On all these levels, develop a healthy approach to bring a project to conclusion. Know when to stop. Challenge. Let your home be a sanctuary that helps you prepare to deal with the world, not a place in which you hide from the world. Gift. A sanctuary within your soul and safe surroundings in which to renew, allow you to regenerate, find your center, and greet the world afresh. Yeah, that's some really real stuff. Especially think about how you would like to have been parented rather than how you were parented, and use that as a model for self-care. So yes, if you're feeling called to move, do it. Because that's a way to make space. I'm just feeling called to say that. This just flipped over Descendant. Oh no, I dropped it. And it says invitation, but we're gonna keep going. All right, so how is July 2025 energies working in our favor? What gifts and favors does the energies of July 2025 have for us, the Perlinwood Collective? Gifts. Scorpio. Investigate. There's a couple of asteroids in the Scorpio that are transiting Scorpio. The keyword is investigate. The number is 8. Scorpio deals with power and death and transformation and all these things. So let's read. Scorpio asks you to dive down and reach into the wellspring of your soul. Scorpio's symbols are the eagle and the scorpion, as this sign invokes both the soaring heights of the eagle's perspective and the scorpion's ability to burrow under the rocks of the psyche or culture. The fixed water sign Scorpio is ruled by Mars in traditional astrology and co-ruled by Pluto in modern astrology. It is connected to the pelvis and to the root chakra. The sun shines through Scorpio October 22nd through November 21st. Action. Drop assumptions and ask questions. Be fascinated by a mystery. Dive deep into the well rather than settle for the surface. Look under rocks and be curious, as this situation is going to require some research. Take nothing at face value. Probe the conscious and unconscious passions that motivate the situation. Be aware of the sexual dynamics in the room and what role they play. Look at worst case scenario so you can prepare, and then feel safe enough to search for the best case scenario. Be ready to transform and transmute the situation. Distill the essence. Concentrate. Play your cards close to your chest. It's time to gather information, get the facts, work with that material, and introspect. Listen to both the facts and to your own intuition rather than to other people's opinions. Share only when you are ready. Appreciate moments alone. If you learn to be comfortable alone, you will have more bargaining power in relationships. Within the depths of your soul is your connection to the infinite. Search for it. Challenge. Question everything, including your own concerns. Jealousy and possessiveness drain your energy and waste time. Before triggering your defenses, the scorpion sting, ask if that response will get you what you actually need. Gift. Transformation. Scorpio loans you the strength and curiosity to plumb the depths and face your monsters, then soar to new heights and transform the situation. Fill the well within that connects to the collective source. Fill the well within that connects to the collective source. Okay, I didn't like the way I read that. All right. So, as a gift and as an advantage, we are clearly, July 2025 is supporting us in developing our own, as it said, bargaining, negotiating power with others and other in general. You know, we build relationships with a lot of things, and not just people, or not just animals, and not just, institutions. There's relationships to home, food, media, things like that. So, as a gift, July 2025 is gifting us the strength to investigate our home space and what home means to us and what we would like home to mean in general. So as a gift and as an advantage, our advantage is our ability to, one second. We have the advantage to really dive deep and get into what matters and use that as an alchemical force to create what's needed and basically to become a better, more courageous leader for the new that is being born for all of humanity, and not just, well, all of humanity that has open hearts. We do have to be specific. But all right, so how is July 2025 going to test us, and what are the challenges? Pallas Athena. Pallas, I think, is one of the asteroids. It's either in Aries or Scorpio. I usually use my phone to look things up, and I'm using my phone right now. Think, number 30. What is this? This looks really cool over here. It's a full rainbow. And I guess this is Pallas Athena, the asteroid. Think. So this is the challenge. And what's going to test us. Pallas Athena speaks of a sharp and guarded intellect. Mythological Athena is the goddess of wisdom, intellect, skill, strategy, and defense. Her father Zeus swallowed her mother Metis, goddess of wise counsel and planning, possibly to hide her from his spouse Hera. Athena gave her father a pounding headache, then leapt fully grown and completely armored from her father's forehead. This powerful goddess could beat the males at their own game and challenge the world to never underestimate feminine strength and wisdom. That's crazy. Venus square Mars, and Venus is in a masculine sign. Remember, 723, Venus will square Mars. Venus in Gemini is going to square Mars in Virgo. So the typical masculine energy is actually having to deal with the feminine, and the typically feminine energy is having to deal with the masculine. Action. Pallas Athena loaned you the ability to walk into a boardroom or other professional situation and be ready to take on any challenge completely in your power with just the right words at hand. Just ask her. Pallas Athena is within you. Speak to her. She can help you navigate the echelons of power. Develop real skills, craft, articulation, and tech genius with her support and your concentration. Connect your trained knowledge, natural abilities, and that spark of divine fire. Just don't overdo the intellectual defenses. Make sure your intelligence and ability to rationalize don't cause more problems than they solve. Take off your helmet in the bedroom, inventory yourself, and see if you, like Athena, underestimate the power of the feminine heart or emotional intelligence. Keep that mind connected to your heart. Challenge. This is where we are. Wherever you are on the gender spectrum, do not think you need to deny or disrespect the feminine, the anima, and the heart in yourself and others in order to access brilliant intelligence and competence. Being able to stay heart-centered in a world that literally feeds off I'm at a loss for the right word, that just feeds off the dysfunction. That's the simplest way to put it. Staying in your heart and choosing to stay functional and to stay whole within your heart space is what is separating, humanity. And that's just the purest truth. Okay, and I mean, if you're already into the spirituality, you may have already heard about the bifurcation of Earth that's going on, which basically means it's splitting into two realities. And I mean, for some of us, we've noticed that for a long time, but now the energies are completely supporting it because more and more people are opening their hearts. Gift. Ask for help when you need it, and divine answers will reveal themselves. You can think through the situation with a combination of rigorous logic and a real curiosity about the truth, all connected to an open heart. So, as a challenge, the challenge is to not disrespect the divine feminine. Within the divine feminine principle within all of humanity. The mother, although written out of a lot of historical text and just everything, or just misrepresented, like it is a very powerful, courageous thing to express genuine love for the divine feminine principle, because we have been in a very patriarchal time, and yeah, we're not, obviously the divine masculine principle is just as important, but it's hard to connect to the divine masculine if the divine feminine is disregarded or misrepresented. But all right, how is July 2025 energies? What is the best way for us to utilize them? Let's see what it says. The best way to utilize these energies of July 2025. Debilitated, discomfort. Interesting. What number is it? 14. Looks like stairs. All right, and then we'll get another card. From my Herbal Astrology Oracle deck. All right. The best way to utilize the July 2025 energies. All right. Tobacco offering. This fell, so I'm going to show it, and I'm going to put it back, and we're going to shuffle again. July 2025. How are these? What is the best way to utilize these energies? Ayahuasca, rebirth. It's associated with Pluto, Jupiter, and Neptune. We already got Neptune. Pluto is going retrograde in July. And Jupiter's in Cancer. Oh, look at this baby. I would say this baby represents us. It represents the new soul aspects that many of us are making room to come forth more strongly. And these are all the divine ancestors, just watching over. And then we have a snake. It is the year for the snake, and you see what she's doing with the DNA strands. It's a number 50. I enjoy 50. I like that number. And then we have another big cat here. This is a leopard. They are apex predators, just so you know. And then there's this woman over here with the tea. So yes. Allow yourself to feel uncomfortable, because birth is not comfortable. Pregnancy and birth. It's beautiful, don't get it twisted, but you're not comfortable all the time. But let's get into it. Debilitated, 14, discomfort. If you put a well-organized city dweller deep in the wild woods, they'd be accidentally debilitated, out of their element, and pushed to live up to their potential. They may be uncomfortable, but the situation offers a chance to stretch further and develop their soul. The same goes for a planet in a sign or placement that's awkward with its nature. For example, Mercury is the least mercurial when it's in Pisces, opposite the sign Virgo, which it rules. Here, Mercury can bestow a great mind, but in an intuitive, integrated, imaginative way, not a mind to escape in purely intellectual pursuits. Okay. Pallas Athena, don't over-intellectualize. Don't over-intellectualize your rebirth. Birth is happens within the right time, but its own time. Action. This time, you are the invaluable sidekick. This is not your game, but you have a lot to contribute nonetheless, and the long-term benefits will be worth your efforts. Learn and listen rather than assert yourself in your opinions. Use your strength and leadership skills to support and center another person or project. Pass the ball to someone who is in a position to run with it. Back up a leader, do the work behind the scenes, and bolster the team. If you're not ready to do this work, you can pass that ball and leave the field. But consider redefining your idea of success. Stay here and you can grow needed skills, expand your repertoire and contacts, and build up trust among others who can help you in the future. Everything you learn, all the contacts you make, prepare you for when it's your turn. For when it is your turn. Challenge. Whether you're an artist among the engineers or a linebacker among the ballerinas, you may struggle to apply your talents in a situation. Sorry, that was ghetto. In these moments, it's easy to slip into self-pity and self-doubt. Gift. You are being challenged to grow in ways you can't predict. You are being asked to diversify, stretch, and strengthen your weak muscles. Only you can decide if it's time to take that challenge, but this experience also encourages you to love yourself in the quiet moments and to appreciate what you bring to the table even when nobody else notices. So, just already, the best way to utilize these energies throughout July 2025. Don't let self-doubt or self-pity beat you up, and don't feel like just because you are a visionary, just because you're trying to bring a vision to life, that obviously, the old ways of being are still fighting to stay in place. We can't really. One quote that I am paraphrasing, but one quote I love is, sorry, this noise is distracting me, so I kind of lost my train of thought. If you need help, get it. It really made me lose my whole train of thought. It's okay. Oh yes, only you can decide if it's time to take that challenge, but this experience also encourages you to love yourself in the quiet moments and to appreciate what you bring to the table even when nobody else notices. So don't be discouraged while still navigating through an old world, because you already have the gift of knowing that it is transforming literally all the time. And it's transforming so humanity can be reborn. And, it's up to you to answer the call, essentially. Like, many of us are being called to choose which side of the split that we want to be on. Like, are we ready to support our soul's growth through our actual everyday human life? Or are we just going to continue to live the life that's fed to us? And neither option is right or wrong, but the energies are definitely supporting the level up of the soul. So, I just feel like if you're reading this, you're probably a lot more ready than you realize, and you just need to work on knowing yourself and knowing that, your open-hearted actions do matter, and even if they go unnoticed, they still matter. You're not doing it for the recognition. It's simply what it is. You're doing it for the betterment of humanity. But let me read ayahuasca, and then I got to let you guys go. Upright, rebirth, mastery, great revelation, discovery of higher self, meeting with the creatrix, divine messengers, gifts from spirit, realization, telepathy, transcendence. And then reverse, disbelief in unseen forces, loss of identity, resistance to change, stuck in old patterning, unable to see beyond your experience, shattering of ideals and desires. You are mastering the power of awareness when aligning to a higher power. Ayahuasca spirit is here to support your ascension, drawing upon an ancient wisdom embedded in your DNA and the earth. Allow yourself to be shattered as you travel through the cosmic womb. Ayahuasca catalyzes purification through the cathartic release of the known, only to reveal undiscovered terrain within your soul. You are one with the magnetic brilliance of Source, the intelligence that orchestrates the great mystery. Feeling lost in the labyrinth only comes when a loss of intentionality or respect happens. Offer your greatest intention, sacrifice your needs, enter into the void without expectation, and allow yourself to be consumed by the oceanic consciousness. Remember, dear one, that to heal the world, you must heal yourself. You are the source of love. Okay. The heart space has a magnetic resonance. So, again, home is where the heart is. If your hospitality of your home is just not hitting on nothing, you need to work on that. Okay? Because I'll share this and then I'm really gonna go. I read, this was a while back. It was definitely in 2025 though. No, it was probably like last year. I was just randomly reading something and I read that the true sin of Sodom and Gomorrah didn't necessarily have anything to do with sodomy or homosexuality. The actual sin that they committed was lack of hospitality. So the word hospitality, we're just going to break it down. The hospital in the suffix ity means the quality of a hospital. And you know what we go to the hospital for. To be in a space that is specifically for the renewal of the body and the healing of the body. Okay, so hospitality is a large part of creating and maintaining a home. So, I'm going to leave y'all with that. Enjoy the rebirth. Enjoy your New World Leader training. And, let's get it. It's a beautiful time. It really is. It's everything. Okay. So, I'm going to chat with y'all in the next video. Look out for the zodiac readings. Those are coming up. So, see ya.